to go ahead and get everybody kind of called together. We're fixing to get this thing going. But first of all, I want to say thank you to each and every plumber, every plumbing company, every plumbing inspector, every family member, every homeowner in Texas that has come out today to show the importance of the Texas plumbing lesson. Guys, I've been stopped all over this place, and I want you to know this isn't just Texas plumbers that's here. We've got plumbers from Washington State, we've got plumbers from Florida, we've got plumbers from all across the United States here today. And guys, part of this thing is, if what they were trying to do, the Texas plumbing license can be done here, it can be done anywhere. So those of us, look around you, those of us that have come down here, stepped up to say, hey look, we want to stand up for the people of Texas and their safety. Guys, this is what it's all about, right? So we're going to start this thing off right. I would like the Reverend Rick Johnson to come up here to start us off.
I want you to do something for me before I bless you today. I want you to turn to your neighbor and clap for him. Let's give everybody a sign. I'm honored to be here. I don't pray long and I don't preach long. Father, thank you for today. Every day is a day that you've made, and we honor that. And we're so happy that you don't send us recycled mercy. It's new every morning. And you daily load us with benefits every day. Thank you for these men and women that are standing strong here today in the state of Texas for the rights of plumbers. And for understanding, God, that we're going to do it right, we're going to do it regularly. We honor these men, we honor these ladies, and we thank you for them. And I stand with them today. And I believe you do, because, Lord, you do things right. Now bless us, give us a good day, a good rally, and let us feel this wonderful breeze all day long. Thank you for sending me.
Next, we're going to do the national anthem, so if you would, if you're not standing yet, please stand or remove your caps. I'd like to introduce Miss Lacey Smith.
God bless America! Oh, say that you see our love's worthy light. What's surrounding we have, and what lights left to live.
Guys, if you would keep your hats off just a moment, we're going to say the pledge to the United States flag and then the pledge to the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now for the Texas pledge. Honor thee, Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee. Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. I'm going to talk just a second about why we're here. And then I'm going to ask Mary Conger to come up and tell you kind of how we got to where we're at. And I started coming to Austin in December to talk about the Sunset Advisory Commission hearings and findings and what they wanted to do. And I saw the importance of what we're doing right here. I saw the importance of plumbers coming down, talking to senators and representatives, talking to the governor's office, talking to the people that would listen to what we had to say. Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners was started in 1947. And guys, it was not started for us. It was not started to help us keep a license. It was not started to help us make more money than handyman. The plumbing license was started to protect the health of the people of Texas. Guys, by you being here today, men, women, children, family, there are so many people here today that took time to get away from work, that took time to leave their families, that took time to come down here and do what we needed to do to let the people down at the Texas State Capitol know we believe in what we do. And you know, when I first started talking to the governor's office, I told them, guys, look, this is a very prideful group you've got. And I've been a plumber since 1980, that's when I started. And I know from the people I've met, learned from, grown up with, and taught that we take pride in what we do. So this today is about us talking to the people that make the laws in Austin to let them know we want to do what's right for the Texas plumbing license and the homeowners in the state of Texas. And that's what this is about. So I just want to kind of cover that right now, and I'll come back in a minute because I want to bring Mary up. And if y'all have not got the opportunity to meet Mary, you need to hug her. Look around at all this around you. She pretty much helped put all this together. And it's really neat because Mary's probably one of the smartest women I've ever met. When you meet her and talk to her, she says, look, I'm just a plumber. So I'm going to ask her to come up here and talk to you for a minute, and I'm going to talk to you again. We're going to start letting some people come up and tell you their views on what they think we need to do and where we need to be and what we can do to make this better. So it is my pleasure to introduce Mary Conger.
Wow, that's all I can say is wow. I am so humbled. I am so thankful. I am 71,000 plumb strong. And y'all, you guys have done it. Not me, not us 10 up here. You guys, y'all rally together. You stay current. You ask questions. You all came forward, and I am so thankful for you guys. I am M40854. No degrees. Nothing in life compares to that. Because I am a plumber, and so are you, and I'm so glad to see all 10,000 of you here. Most of you know that I come from a family of plumbers. I have 2 sons that are plumbers. My husband is a plumber, and I'm so thankful that I was able to share this path with him. We all know that it can be a hard path, but a good one. No, life is not easy, but plumbing is a wonderful trade, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it. I am always a plumber first and foremost. I heard from a great mentor of mine. She said, hey, you know what? Plumbers, it's not every little girl's dream, but it's a good dream. Okay? It is. I love my trade just as much as all 10,000 of you right here, and all 71 plumb strong of us that are either watching it on Facebook, watching it through live stream, or they're just watching the post. I think everyone is enamored right now. And even after we got the good news yesterday, y'all showed up. And you showed up in numbers. We all do celebrate a little more today because yesterday our fine governor gave us some awesome news. But is this fight over? No. What happens next? We have got the platform, guys, and you're proof of it. We've got to show up in numbers. We've got to show up unified just as we did today. We've got to flood those board meetings. We've got to flood every news channel there is, and we've got to stay unified. We've got a brotherhood today here, and we've got a sisterhood. And I'm overwhelmed with every message. Some of them stating, hey, a rally. Hey, I've never understood what it was to be like in this group. But Ms. Conger, now I understand. So let me tell you, those messages, we read every one of them. And we heard every plea. And I tell you one thing, you're the guys who did this, and gals. But complacency, it ended yesterday at 3:29. Okay? I too have been guilty of complacency. But I want to make a pact here today that us moving forward, complacency is a thing of the past. So like I said, what are we going to do? We're going to fight, and we're going to stay together. Because let me tell you, Austin and the state of Texas has never seen anything like it has today. And we are 71,000 plumb strong. Okay? I will open at the close. We converged as a group as fast as we had these thoughts at the end. We were bare and speechless on that 28th day of May. But yet, we came armed and thoughtful. Robert Renfro and William Buddy Huberger simultaneously reached out, and there we were again, 71,000 plumb strong. We are, all of y'all, we are a group of ordinary plumbers doing extraordinary things. With this, let me introduce you to the ones who really put this together. This is a rally of hope. This is a rally of strength. This is a rally of your voice together. First of all, we have Robert Renfro. Robert, will you please stand up? We have William Buddy Huberger. He is here in heart. He is actually celebrating his 44th wedding anniversary, a planned trip, but he is in here in heart, and his brother and his family are here. Jeremy Page, where are you? Stand up. Asa Womack, come on. Adam Smith. Bobby Doran. Dustin DeWeese.
Go, Luis.
Roger Wakefield. Steve Harmon. And Francis Lane.
Yeah, Francis.
Guys, I said we were all ordinary doing extraordinary things. Well, these are pretty much the most extraordinary group of people that I've ever worked with. Let me tell you, these 10 are phenomenal and work harder than anyone that I have ever known. They are selfless. They are diligent. They are persistent, never considering the hours put in to create this movement. They are 71,000 plumb strong. Thank you. I would like to also give thanks again to our governor for listening to our plea. And honestly, I don't think we would have gotten the news yesterday at 3:24 unless it was for you guys. You hear me? Unless it was for y'all. Y'all came out when it mattered. Governor Abbott, I speak to you. Our faith was renewed by your understanding of what's best for every Texas citizen. And we know that you hold this industry close to your heart. I would also like to thank our sponsor, Representative Synfronia Thompson. She's been there the entire time. We would all really clap for this representative. Also, Cody Harris, as well as his chief of staff, Jeff Carlson, they made it happen. They got Synfronia Thompson involved with this, and we're very appreciative of them. We would also like to thank Representative Dan Flynn and Senator Kurt Watson. They were there from the beginning. They were. I would also like to thank my husband and my mentor, Diane. And there are many, many more that have played an integral role in this rally, and they have decided to stay behind the scenes. But they are not forgotten, and you are the ones who make this trade a professional. Now, do me a favor, and you're doing it already. Texas Plumbers, y'all hear me? All right. Let's show this great state of Texas and this beautiful city of Austin, historic beautiful city of Austin, what our professionalism looks like. Okay? 71,000 plumb strong. Thank you. And again, from my heart to yours, this is for the plumbers, by the plumbers. And there's not any special interest, large groups. It was put on by you, and I'm so thankful. Thank you.
Y'all, can I hear it from Ray Conger? Let me tell you what, she talked about how strong we are, and we are not strong without everybody here. 10 people up here is not loud. 10,000 people here, they hear us talking. So, guys, if y'all look around, there's some trash cans around. I want to make sure that, please, guys, help us show the state of Texas how professional and responsible we are. Let's make sure we get our trash taken care of. Before we get going, I want to acknowledge there were a lot of volunteers out here at 7 o'clock this morning, setting up scaffold for sound, setting up trash cans, setting up canopies, tables, chairs. This is not just something we threw up in 5 minutes. I want to thank John Haddad of Hazmat Productions for our sound system today. Jennifer and Charles Swope for being part of what's going on up here. Miller Pro Audio. Guys, y'all can hear us. I mean, I walked out to my Jeep earlier and I could hear Bobby Dorn up here talking, so I know this system works well. Thank you guys very much. We've got a sign-in table here. Guys, we need everybody signed in if at all possible. And if you want to, you can go online on your phone, enter tiny, TINY.cc/71K. Guys, we need everybody here to check in if at all possible. So, I want to tell you all about a trip I made to Austin one time. It was really neat. I went down for a CE course. And I love being a provider, or an educator, not a provider. But I love being a CE instructor. It literally helped me meet and talk to a lot of plumbers. And you know, when you come down, you never know what it's going to be like. Actually, the very first time I came down, it was me alone in the room with the chief, the director, the executive director of the Texas State Board. And that's how I went through my CE to be a provider the first time. But the last time that I came down, it was really neat because I often wondered, you know, my numbers in the 35,000s. But at one of these meetings, I got to meet one. And guys, I can't tell you how neat I thought it was at the time. And I really do respect Stanley and everything that he does. And it's not just what he does, it's what he's done. So, I'm going to get to tell you a little bit about him. But I just wanted to tell you what it was like the first time that I actually got to meet him and how cool it was for me. And I didn't get to hear him speak. I actually sat in a class with him. But it was a neat thing to know that I was in the room with L1. So, Stanley J. Byers is with Texas AMCA, the chairman. He's had all the other positions. He was on the Texas State Board of Plumbing, or the Texas State Plumbing Examiners Board for 16 years, and the AC Board. Stanley is a responsible master plumber. Stanley has 55 years of experience, and as I said, his master license is M1. He's got an AC license, multi-engine instrument, fixed wings license with over 3,000 hours as a plumber. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce Stanley J. Byers.
Thank y'all. Isn't this a wonderful crowd? We want to thank Governor Abbott. What he did yesterday was a great service to the citizens of this state of Texas. I see a lot of signs out here saying, "Save the plumbing board." It's not the plumbing board that's getting saved. It's the citizens of this state that require safe and sanitary plumbing. From protection from gas leaks and explosions, protection from mispiped medical gas systems, so that when you put that mask on in that hospital, what you're going to get is what it says on the wall. And it's going to be free of impurities. They talk about our drain cleaners, and our drain cleaners, we train them to prevent infiltration into the sewer system, which gets into plants that we have to pay for through our tax money. They want to get rid of the drain cleaner, and we think they're necessary. In any case, I want to give you just a short history of your plumbing license and your plumbing license law and what it's meant to the state. The 25th legislature, over 120 years ago, passed legislation requiring that cities license plumbers, master plumbers, journeyman plumbers, and plumbing inspectors. And the cities shouldered that responsibility and ran with it. From 1897 to 1947, when the legislature realized that our license needed to have portability. You needed to be able to work next door in the next door city. So they created the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners. But I want to tell you that the first thing that happened is they appointed them. They didn't have a building. They didn't have an office. They didn't have a sheet of paper. And most important, they did not get an appropriation from the legislature. The legislature told them to go forth and pick this challenge up from the cities and make it a state license. There were 6 men on that board in those days, and they went here to a bank in Austin, Texas, and borrowed the money. And they all signed a note. And they funded the State Board of Plumbing Examiners until the funds started coming in. At that time, they were in a building over here, a house, and a garage apartment on Lavaca Street. Got a lot of noise here. Maybe they want me to quit. Anyway, they made it, the legislature in 1969 said, Plumbing Board, if you'll help us with the construction of the John H. Reagan building, we'll give you rent in perpetuity. The legislature passed a bill saying that the plumbers could take $250,000 out of their fund, give it for the construction of the John H. Reagan building. Many of you, if you're older plumbers, took your exam in that building. The exam was in the basement, and the administrative office was on the second floor. When I took my exam 55 years ago, Lynn Brown was the administrator. And I walked around and I said, could I find out what my score was? He said, yes. And he told me what it was, and I said, when do you send my license? He said, if you go upstairs, I'll write it out for you. And he did, and I went back to my home in Houston, Texas, and I was so proud. And the next morning, I was standing at the plumbing inspection office in downtown Houston in the basement of City Hall, and I took out my first permit. And what a proud day that was for me. And I've been proud of this license ever since. I want to tell you that we got rent in perpetuity in the John H. Reagan building, but perpetuity ran out in 1981, and we moved to the building we're in. We had 12,000 licensees. The building was adequate. The examination was great. The examinees took care of us. Today we got 78,000, and we're in the same building. They're putting in there like sardines. We can't expand. We need the state to appropriate our funds, and it's not that the state takes 50% of the money we collect and puts it in the state treasury. If they'd appropriated that money to that plumbing board and let us have the FTEs that we needed, we wouldn't be in this switch. This state has never put a dime into that state board from its inception till today. And they've taken millions and millions of dollars from our plumbing contractors and plumbers in this state. It's time for the state to appropriately fund that plumbing board, and we'll fix this problem. 6 years ago, the governor signed a bill where you could transfer your license number. 50 years of carrying a license, and you could give it to somebody within the second degree of kindred, as long as they held the appropriate license that matched yours. The worst text I got after this happened was from my grandson. And he said, "Popo, am I still going to get your license?" Thanks to Governor Abbott, twice he signed the bill that allows us to transfer it, and now he put me back in shape to give it to my grandson. We're going to have to stay strong. We have to talk to our legislators. We got to help them in their election. They need to understand what the plumbers do for this state. They have to understand that we do more than clean their toilets. And when they understand that, this problem's going away. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you for your attention. And I'm going to continue to work for this plumbing industry as long as the good Lord lets me. Thank you.
and what we do. And when you go back and you teach plumbing, you teach the plumbing license laws, you teach the board rules, and you meet people like Stanley and this next presenter, and know that they help write some of that, write a lot of that. It really does. It's like I said when I first called down and talked to Ms. Gonzalez in the governor's office and told her, I said, look, this is a very prideful group you're dealing with. We take this license seriously, and we take the work seriously, and we take the fact that we save people's lives every day seriously.
That's right.
So, this next speaker is with Plumber's Continuing Education. Previous owner of Commercial Plumbing Company, currently president of Plumber's Continuation, Inc. Got his journeyman license in 1983, master's in 1985, and his master number is a 15,000 number. So he's had it for a little while. 36 years experience, and he's provider of education, CPE instructor, and a veteran of the armed forces. How many veteran plumbers here we got? Raise your hands high. Thank every one of you. God bless you all. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Mr. Bobby Green.
Okay, I don't have much time because Stanley took it all out. I do want to say, let's go M1, 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 M1. Hey guys, thanks for coming. We really appreciate it. I'll tell you, this group up here is special to me. But again, I want to make sure we understand some of us did start off in the armed forces. We're very proud of what we do for not only this country, but the state of Texas, to make sure we protect the health and the safety of the citizens of this great state. When somebody told us that we could possibly go to the TDLNR, I says, uh-oh, we're in trouble. We need to be a standalone agency. We started, as Stanley said, and by the way, my mentor, Stanley Byers. I love him like a father, I love him like a brother, and I'll follow him to the end of the earth. But as far as going to the TDLR, that's our battle. In the next legislation, we got to make sure that we have enough voices to all of our legislature from all parts of this state to make sure that we stay a standalone agency. Since 1947, we've succeeded. And as Stanley says, our money and appropriations are taken away from us more and more. And we get more and more licensees. Yes, we have a population almost 29 million in this state. Yes, we need more plumbers. But no, we're not going to disrupt the integrity of this agency and this business. And I want to thank every one of you for being here today. Because if it wasn't for you, we would not have what we have today. May God bless every one of you, and God bless Texas. Thank you.
And I tell you what, if these guys don't make you proud of what you do, you're probably in the wrong line of work, guys. I tell you what, I've had the pleasure of getting to talk to a lot of these guys in the last 2 weeks. And I mean, guys, I want y'all to look around because we've had people from the Capitol come up and say, look, it takes months to put together a rally like this. And that's where I talk about Mary Conger, the group that she put around her, the family and friends that she's got helping her. Guys, look around. This is one heck of a rally of plumbers. We're going to really get loud later, but you know, I hate to overrule Rock Rally right now. There's a lot of motorcycles. I hate to wake those guys up or anything. So, our next speaker is the National PHCC Board of Director, Secretary, Vice President, and is also a U.S. Navy veteran. He's held a license in New York for 23 years. And guys, remember, I started off this thing telling you that this is about plumbers across the nation. It's not just right here. This affects every plumber in the United States, and they know that. And with what I do, I get to talk to plumbers across the United States. And guys, this is really a big deal. This gentleman has 48 years of experience. And I believe next year or the year after, he is the president of the PHCC. I would like to introduce Mr. Hiraboto.
Thank you very much. And good afternoon to everybody. I am so proud to be standing here in front of the Texas plumbers. And I got to tell you, your message is reaching from California to Maine, and you are exciting the plumbing industry. I'm currently the Vice President of the Plumbing, Heating, Cooling Contractors, and I stand here very proud. It's incredible, and truly incredible, what you can achieve when we get ourselves together. We want to thank Governor Abbott for hearing the united voice of the plumbing industry and perhaps critically the millions of Texans that our industry serves. And I'd also like to reach out to the Governor's office and the Texas state legislators and to the commissions and agencies with the authority over plumbing and remind them the plumbing industry will always partner with you to make responsible choices, and will always trust in the policies and best interests of the Texans and all Americans across the United States. I'm a proud master plumber. I've been doing this since the ripe old age of 11 years old, and I'm not going to tell you what my age is right now. I've dug the trenches, I've threaded the pipe, and I've run a family business for well over 38 years. Fortunately, I'm semi-retired now, but I still love this industry, as I see you all do. I hold the state of Texas in high regard in setting for plumbing professional standards and how an industry should be regulated. Plumbers across the nation are watching you, Texas. We do not want to see a well-regulated industry be subject to deregulation, thereby jeopardizing the health and safety of the people of Texas. There's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done in this 2 years that we have. I'm proud to stand up for this industry, from the one-man shop to large contractor companies. We need plumbers and contractors to be involved. And I repeat that, be involved. And those who may not remember, stop sitting on the sidelines. Join an association. Roll up your sleeves. Get in the game. And become part of our great brotherhood and sisterhood. Regardless whether you're union, non-union, plumbing hacks and professionals, PHCC members, get involved in your future. Thank you to all the groups, including the educators, the unions, the industry associations who have worked diligently to get this message out to your state legislators. And standalone licensing agency is of extreme importance. I'm confident the importance of plumbing in the state of Texas will remain forefront and focus the future of our legislative work. Licensed plumbing professionals undergo years of education, on-the-job training, and learn the science and craft of plumbing and become knowledgeable about best practices necessary to diagnose and solve plumbing problems for their clients. They take their responsibility seriously as to ensure the safety of the professional plumber and is qualified and accountable for their work. Therefore, it is critical to obtain a license showing proficiency, installation, and compliance with the current codes. Plumbing professionals that are here today stand in solidarity to first and foremost protect the public health and the safety of Texas citizens and protect the rights of plumbers. I have fought on issues through the National Plumbing Association for affordable health care, for small business, unfair utility practices, and the continuing crisis of lack of workers in the skilled trades at the local, state, and national levels. And though we not always win, but we come away with a newfound respect each time we show up, like we're showing up today. I'd like to use this platform to open a national dialogue on licensing and invite plumbers of Texas to join national educational campaign and proactively inform and educate all those who are in public as it applies to licensing or specific plumbing. Again, we thank Governor Abbott for his commitment to help Texas plumbing industry as well as the citizens of Texas. So in closing, I want to thank you all for sacrificing the time. Like all of us in this one industry, protecting our profession and protecting the health of this great nation. Thank you, Texas.
You know, one thing that we started talking about when we all got together, and Bobby brought it up in one of the meetings, is look, this is not union versus non-union. It's not PHCC representation versus non-representation. It's not residential versus commercial. It's not service versus new construction. Guys, this is about plumbers. So, we've got a broad group of people speaking today. I am a union contractor. So, my next guest coming up is the business agent for United Association Local 68 out of Houston. He's got 40 years in the trade, and he's also a past State Board of Plumbing Examiners Board member. So guys, it is my honor to introduce Rick Lord.
You know, like Roger said, I am a union member and a proud union member, and I did this. I got in this in 1980 because I like the skills aspect of it. And that's something that kind of was lost with some of the legislators. We are a skilled craft. All of us out here have a lot of respect for our industry. And you know, when we started this battle with the legislature, we come up here in buses with these nice, pretty yellow shirts. Some of my legislator friends were kind of thinking it's funny, these shirts of ours that we had made up. But we had buses load of people to come up here. We ramped up the battle. And it wasn't a union issue. It was a non-union issue. Me and Stanley Briers have worked on legislation for the last 20 years. And the thing that we've always been inspired to do was to protect our industry and protect the consumer and protect the way of life that we have as plumbers. So I want to thank, one of the things that some of the legislators are getting upset, saying this is a union thing and upset with the union. we had several unions that are brothers and sisters, whether it's the AFL-CIO, seafarers, electricians, all different crafts said, hey, we understand the aspect y'all are dealing with. It's a consumer issue. It's a construction issue. Sometimes when we won 4 different votes, the people spoke 4 times, and still we had to go through this process. And I want to really thank Governor Abbott for knowing that this is an important issue, an issue that is not only a consumer issue, it's protect the consumers, it's a life safety issue, and the governor stood up and said, hey, he can fix it, and he did fix it. When the legislators failed to do it, not all of them, but 1 or 2 of them. And I know we had a praise for Sophronia Thompson. Sophronia is out of Houston area where we're out of, and been a great friend to us. And in this whole process, when everything went haywire, we also had a guy named Chris Turner. How many of y'all from Dallas? Representative Chris Turner, y'all owe him a great deal of gratitude. That guy did as much, if not more, than Sophronia to protect us. And so these legislators, we need to get that story out. We need to be sure to support who support us. And when we started kind of, everything fell apart. We didn't know what we were going to do. We went to Mayor Sylvester Turner in Houston, and he is already on the process of getting something done to protect the citizens of Houston. And that, you know, that's what we need as politicians that understand the issues, that understand the industry, and understand what we're trying to get across and protect the consumers. And I just want to thank everybody, because when we started this program, it took everybody. You looked all around here, if it wasn't all the emails, the text messages, the phone calls, these legislators heard you. And that's why 4 separate times we had the majority of the vote, because they believed in you. So I want to say thank you for supporting us.
It's really neat, you know, being a part of different groups and associations and whatnot. You know, I got to go down and speak in Houston a couple of years ago with the union, and actually got to meet Rick down there. And you meet people, and you actually get to spend time away from a meeting and talk to them, and you find out that, you know, this person really does care about what he does or what trade he's in and things like that. So I wanted to say thank you, Rick, for coming in today. I appreciate everything that you're doing and the guys at 68 are doing. So thank you very much. My next speaker is a PHCC instructor, and she has been instructing plumbers, or a plumbing inspector, for 15 years. So, you know, she's got time in this trade. She gets to see a lot of things that some of us don't get to see, thank God. But I would like to introduce Miss Michelle Killebrew.
Good afternoon. I'm a plumbing inspector at my med desk, and Bobby Duran taught me something called multi-purpose residential, I don't know what that is, fire sprinkler system? I learned to study from so many great leaders. My dad, first of all, Lisa Hill, Bobby, Monty Lowe, Tata Hope, Joe Davis, oh my God, Joe Davis. There's so many great leaders, and I learn every time I get to teach for PHC, and I go on Saturdays and teach you guys, because y'all teach me. We learn so much, and I get so excited about teaching continuing ed. And I know that the guys come in and they're sad and they're upset they don't get to go fishing or whatever they want to do on Saturday. And I'm excited. We get to learn about plumbing today. Drives them all nuts, I know. For the past several years, I've shown my license and said, guys, what does this mean to you? What did you work for? How hard was it for you to get it? It doesn't matter. And the guys sit there and think about it. And I said, if it matters, do you show it to your clients? Why should you? You should. They need to understand, and they don't. They don't know what it took to get this. They have no clue how hard it is to keep it every year, right? When I first saw the outcome of legislation, I felt like somebody took this and everything we'd worked for and threw it in the trash. And said, doesn't matter. Wasn't worth anything. And it took me a little bit. And I heard several other plumbers say the same thing. I had people calling me saying, what was it worth? Does it matter? It does. Who cares what legislation thinks? Who cares what anybody else thinks? It matters what you think, and it matters what you know. But we have to teach that. If we want others to understand what it took, we gotta educate them. I never thought anybody would have it on the back of their shirt. It took this to get there. Because I've asked guys this year, who did what I asked? Who went to their customer and said, hi, my name is, and showed your card? And everyone just kind of looked at me and went, not really me, no. He's got on the back of his freaking shirt today. We finally got it. We're woken up, and it's time for you to teach. RMPs, masters, journeymen, inspectors. It takes each of you to teach these guys, the young ones, the importance of plumbing, what it takes to get their license and why it's important, and what plumbing is all about. It takes teaching our families, our friends, and those youth. The kids that are digging the ditches and are doing the little things for us right now. Apprentices, are you licensed? Do you have a card? I've had a guy tell me, you're not talking about the apprentices, and I believe they're plumbers. They are. They're our future. Exactly. Thank you. No, you're right. So you take anything away, take the pride of what you've done, and please teach it. That's what it's going to take. This whole thing is about the fact that we're losing the industry. So how do we gain it? There's a young girl out there, about 18, that's got her apprentice card. Pretty damn proud of her. Let's keep that.
She's right. We've got to teach the apprentices that we work with. And man, the good thing is, I think that we're going to get that opportunity. If we can help make the Texas State Board of Plumbing examiners better, and we can help plumbers get better at what we do, we can make the future better for a lot of young people. And I think that's a great thing for all of us. So next I'd like to introduce somebody who represents Texas plumbers. He's a plumber just like us. And he's a service plumber, a plumbing, and an apprentice communication trainer. And he works up in the Dallas area, so I've actually got to meet him before. I get to see him a lot on social media. Master number is a 42,000 number. So, he's a rookie. I like that. Not really, but I like this guy. I wouldn't say that. He's got 12 years of experience. So, he's been in it long enough to know what's going on. Been married for 11 years to this beautiful Amelia right over here. Hi, Amelia. She's not even going to wave. And he's got 3 beautiful children. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Dustin DeWeese.
Texas Plumbers, how's everybody doing? Hey? How many of you guys traveled to get to Austin today? I have never helped pass a bill. I don't do anything special with legislatures. I show up to work every day and I work for someone. I am a Texas master plumber, and I teach my apprentices and the plumbers that I work with how to do what I do. What we do as plumbers is we try to replicate what we do into someone else to grow our trade. How many of you guys do that on a daily basis? Thank you for what you do. Whenever I go into someone's home, I do residential service. I don't set carriers, I don't go in and do commercial boilers. I get in my truck every morning and I do service calls. But I have pride in what I do. And whenever I heard that the Texas State Board plumbing examiners was going to be abolished on May the 28th, that day I didn't know what was next. I have 3 kids and a wife, and I have thought of this legacy that I was going to leave to my kids. Maybe my daughters would be plumbers. Maybe my son was going to be a plumber. And what did that mean to them? My apprentices that were getting close to licensing, it meant that they're going to be the exact same as me, the exact same as any of the bikers down at the rally. They could go in and do what we do. But then I thought to myself, no, they cannot do what we do because we have a set of skills that people cannot replicate. Am I right? We have a set of skills that they cannot replicate because we have put in this time. We have got apprentice pay. I started at $8 an hour as an apprentice, digging in ditches. That's probably way more than some of you other guys started at. But I can tell you, that was not a livable wage for me. I held 3 jobs in order to provide for my family because I wanted so bad in my heart to be a plumber. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for doing what you do. I want to thank you for showing up. You might not be the one who are writing bills to get this thing passed, but I can tell you, you vote. You vote. You vote for your... You vote. I want you guys to go out to vote in your local elections. I want you to vote in your state elections. That's how we can make a difference. We showed up today. We can't let this be the end. We are working towards something more because we will kick the can until next year and have this thing sunsetted again unless we vote. We get out there and we do what we need to do and we talk to the people we need to talk to and we share the message of the Texas plumbers are here to stay, the board is here to stay, and we need the changes needed for us to be able to do that. Thank you guys very much.
Hey, those of y'all that can't see it, look at this tattoo on this guy's leg. Now that's a fire bridge. Guys, here's what's cool about Dustin. Let me tell you what. This guy is like us. He is a plumber. He takes pride in his work every day. The company that he works for, I see his boss on TV 20 times a morning every morning. And this guy here is behind the scenes doing it with his heart every day. And to me, that's what it's all about. So, how about a big hand again for Dustin DeWeese? Alright, so my next speaker retired from the city of Duncanville after 29 years. Duncanville is up in the Dallas area for those of y'all who don't know. He retired from building inspections, serving 25 years as a building official. He has his plumber's inspector's license, I-1624, and he served 4 years on the Texas State Plumbing Examiners Board. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Mr. Greg Contreras.
A short while ago, Bobby Duran had contacted me and said, hey, I need you to come down to Boston and talk with you folks. Dang, have you seen from up here how many of you there are? You know what? It doesn't bother me. If I was talking to a bunch of suits and ties, it would bother me, but I got to know plumbers over the years, and I feel right at home up here. I'm going to be quick to make up for Stanley's time, his well-deserved time. I obtained my state plumbing inspector's license in '91 as a municipal combination inspector. For those of you that know What that is, they're inspectors that are not inspecting in trades specific to their license or background. So the training was adequate to get my license, but it wasn't until I was appointed to the State Board of Plumbing Examiners that I began to realize how much I didn't know. While on the board, I had the opportunity to meet many plumbers, and many of those plumbers were the sons of plumbers, grandfathers were plumbers, their uncles were plumbers, and they followed in their footsteps to make plumbing their livelihood. There were also those, of course, that just chose plumbing as the career that they wanted to take. Either way, each made a commitment to hard work, to go through extensive training, and pass rigorous exams in order to obtain licenses and certifications, which allowed them to expand their services and grow their businesses. During my time on the board, I witnessed an untethered passion amongst not only those who made plumbing their livelihood, but I saw the same passion in members of the various plumbing organizations and associated industries. Simply stated, y'all take your business serious. And your thoughts and opinions should be taken seriously.
Right. I became a plumber because I saw the plumber's daughter.
My exposure to this during the time of the board caused me to want to improve my own knowledge of plumbing to better myself as a plumbing inspector. It was a great awakening for me personally and professionally. This experience is why I'm here today. The news yesterday that Governor Abbott extended the state plumbing board until 2021 is certainly welcome news, but I believe there's much work ahead to ensure that whatever the future holds, that two issues should be at the forefront of all conversations. First, it's my opinion that regulations must always be in place to ensure that besides the notorious homeowner and maintenance man exemptions, that only qualified licensed plumbers should be allowed to perform plumbing work. The citizens of the state will always deserve the protection provided by experienced licensed plumbers. You'll know better than most of the serious health and life safety issues that result from improperly installed plumbing. You see it in the field, and I saw it as an inspector. Secondly, and equally important, is that we must make certain that all necessary actions are taken to protect those of you who have dedicated your lives to building businesses and livelihoods in the plumbing field, and that you're never subjected to the negative impact on your business should regulations ever be removed or loosened that would allow untrained, unqualified, and unlicensed individuals to perform plumbing work. Many of you already have this experience every day while trying to compete with handymen and other unlicensed people, taking work away from you. And that's with regulations in place right now. You work hard to get where you are. And your dedication and commitment should not be forgotten. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you today and for being part of this very important conversation.
Again, guys, I'm going to say, and we've still got a few more speakers come up, but I want to remember, I want to have an applause for all these volunteers that helped put all this up, set all this up, and do all this. I want to say thanks to John Hazmat Haddon and Hazmat Productions, who's responsible for our sound system here. Jennifer and Charles Swope for doing what they did to help get this thing going, and Miller Pro Audio. And guys, without it, y'all would not be able to hear us. So I really do appreciate it. So I got a question. How many service plumbers do we have here? If you're a service plumber, raise your hand. I like that. How many new construction plumbers do we have here? Okay, I think the service plumbers will let us try again. How many service plumbers do we have here? All right, now I'm going to give y'all a chance. How many new construction plumbers do we have here? Okay, y'all going to like this? You guys ready? How many female plumbers do we have here? Let's hear it for the female plumbers, y'all. I think that's an amazing job. Oh, I'll get them up off the chair. Let me tell you. All right, and just because I'm curious, how many union plumbers do we have here? How many non-union plumbers do we have here? I want y'all to get really loud on this one. How many plumbers do we have here? Okay, they almost heard you on the other side, but not quite, so one more time. How many plumbers do we have here? My next speaker, Chief Building Official for the City of Southlake. This is another one up outside the Dallas area. And I like this because I relate. Native Texans. Do we have any native Texans? 47 years in the building construction industry, certified building official, licensed plumbing inspector, licensed master electrician, but we won't hold that against him, and code certified inspector. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Paul Ward.
Thank you. Welcome, Texas. Welcome, those of you who are here from the United States. And you notice I was taking a picture. The chief building official, I want you to know today you get a written approval tag for being here. So, see me after you. I am honored to be here with you today. Over my years, and you heard 40 plus, 44 plus, I didn't get this gray hair for nothing. But I love what I do. You notice Greg before me has that gray hair. It's like city official something. But I'm honored to be with you. I do have something briefly to speak to you about. And that's something that we all do have in common. Texas, starting in City Valley, now in North Texas, and out in the state of Texas. Work with a common focus, and that is enforcement, codes, understanding city ordinances, laws, and particularly the plumbing license law. That has been the best law, the most effective law in the state of Central Texas for what we do in the plumbing industry. During this time with these agencies that I work with, we've all still focused on simplifying the construction process. Now, what is that? It's to promote common interpretation. It's to help reduce training costs. And the ultimate goal is what we have here, safe homes and buildings, where we live and work in this great state of Texas. So something we all agree on, and that is that we want safe homes for our family. We want safe homes for our buildings that we work and play. We want a safe environment for the visitors that come to Texas by the thousands daily. And have you noticed, most are staying when they get here. They love Texas. We also gather, now I could just read what the signs say and be very effective here. I love your signs. But we also gather due to a conflict in that goal of protecting life and property. And that's why you're here today. Now, there's no real conflict unless we become aggressive and promote that welfare citizens of this great state. Building officials in Texas understand the importance of the licensed professional. They understand that they're a main role in protecting the citizens. So we don't want history to repeat itself. And I must say, if this will get your attention, once upon a time, a long, long time ago, before many of us here were even born, there was no plumbing license law. And that is hard to believe. It's hard to understand. So, do we want history to repeat itself? Do we want to continue with what we have going? Thank you. Remember, in our real history, it says before we had the license laws, before we had contractors knowing how to install plumbing properly, before we had city officials, plumbing inspectors knowing what they're doing. Can you imagine? It's tough enough helping these plumbing inspectors understand, but we are together in this. And I encourage you, while I'm thinking, to get to know your plumbing inspector wherever you are. Ask them questions. Get to know them and use the opportunity of what they may have. And guess what? I will say I learned from you as a licensed plumbing inspector. Now, I must say, without you, the people that are coming to Texas that live in homes and put their dream home and everything they have up, if without you, their home, their dream would become a nightmare. Thank you. So, who deserves credit for where we are today? Who deserves credit for having safe homes, safe businesses? That's going to go to our elected officials, the state plumbing board, and you as licensed plumbing contractors. Thank you. I want to make one statement that I'm going to repeat it because I don't want, I may get a lot of phone calls if I don't make this clear. But you can help communicate what I'm saying. You will understand what I'm saying. That no other agency, commission, or department in Texas has been able to provide a common interpretation of the codes and laws and provide uniformity in education and training for both inspectors and contractors like the State Plumbing Board of Examiners. Do you agree with me? If I may, friends, a few others, maybe here, but I love them and we are friends. But let me repeat that one more time. I'm not here to be negative on these others, but I'm highlighting the importance of what we have in the State Plumbing Board and our continuing education and uniformity with plumbing inspectors and plumbing contractors. So I'm going to say it. No other agency, commission, or department of Texas has been able to provide a common interpretation of those laws and provide uniformity in education and training like the State Board of Plumbing Examiners. Ladies, let me repeat it. Education manual that we all get every year. Without that, we would lose uniformity. And that is, it will happen without continuing education, annual training through the continuing education manual. Okay, I will say, building officials call themselves many times first responders. Now, we know what our first responders are as far as paramedics and fire officials. But we can also call ourselves, and I'm talking to you, and you can call yourself the first preventer. You prevent the collapse, prevent the explosion. When we do our job, nothing happens. You heard that? That's true. So the fact that we come to various backgrounds, what we do is stay on. We started this with prayer, and I want to encourage you to continue to pray for our leaders in Austin. Pray licensed contractors provide a partnership that will continue through the state of Texas. Let's strive for that ultimate goal. Build safe homes and buildings for all who live and work in Texas. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless Texas.
You know, every now and then you have great days. And I've got a speaker coming up later, and he's the one who's been telling me about this link that we can log on to sign in. That is just came told me we shut down Microsoft. So apparently the server that they had set up was not ready for a bunch of plumbing involved today. But I was pointed out to me earlier when I was asking, all the who's here. I missed a group. So I would like to know, are there any women here that are married to plumbers? And then if they look and you forget that group, brother, you are in trouble. Yeah, sons that are plumbers. How many of y'all are here, and let's do that. How many of y'all are here because you're either married to or related to somebody that's a plumber? Let me hear from y'all. So, I love it. I do. And let me tell y'all what, I know a lot of these women, and these are some of the smartest plumbers I know. And there's another one out here, I don't know where Debbie is, but I saw her a while ago too. So, man, I see your arms, Debbie. She's short, but I see her hands. Debbie Vukovic, it's good to see you here. Thank you for what you do. She's a training coordinator at Local 100 in Dallas. So, here's the deal. And I like getting to introduce this next plumber. Because he's like us. He's a plumber. And I met him here the first time that I came up to talk at the Sunset Advisory Commission hearing. And me and him and his brother had breakfast, and we talked about what we thought was going on and the way we saw it and what was happening. So, man, it's really neat. Guys, it's people that we meet, man, these are relationships that they're going to stick with you. And we find out that we're all here for the good of each other and the good for the homeowners of the state of Texas. So, my next guy has 11 years as a licensed plumber. His M number is a 42, so we're going to hear Ricky call again. Married 10 years with Healthy Womack and has 3 beautiful daughters. And this guy is an RMP also up in Plano, Texas. So I would like to introduce from DNA Plumbing, Asa Womack.
How's everybody doing out there this evening? Boy, did they underestimate us, didn't they? I've seen people from all over Texas. I've seen people from El Paso. I've seen people from up north as far as Denison. I've seen people from out east, out west, out here for a great cause. A lot of people don't realize that the things that us plumbers do, from digging ditches, making sure there's no cross connections, no contamination in the drinking water. Guys, we take care of all that. We make sure that your gas is connected safely. You know, they talked earlier about med gas. What would they have done if they deregulated everything? I know me and every plumber that I'm looking at right now, they make sure wouldn't be hooking up an oxygen mask to their face, would they? Nope. Not at all. Guys, we've got to keep pushing on. This is not over yet. Got to keep pushing on. the support we have, the group that's been put together from Dustin, Mary, you've been great. A good friend I've got to make on the way. I've got two of them. I really got to know and get impressed with is Robert Renfro and Roger Wakefield. Like Roger said, I met him back in October. We came down here, my brother and I, and I didn't know what was going on. Nobody knew what was going on. Guys, we've got to educate ourselves and get ahead of this thing. If we don't get ahead of this thing, we're going to end up in the same boat we were just a few weeks ago. We're better than this.
Right, yeah.
And God bless, we're freaking Texas Plumbers. Guys, y'all get home safe this afternoon. I'm going to step back and let some other speakers take advantage. But God bless America and God bless Texas Plumbers.
So how many plumbers are down here for Rock Rally? Been down here for it a time or two. It's a lot of fun. I want to tell you about my next guy. And it's really neat because I really got to talk to him down here and get to know him. And, you know, those of y'all that have seen some videos that I might make every now and then, I talk about studying for the plumbing exam. And, you know, it doesn't matter to me, you know, like we said, this is not union versus not union, anything like that. It's not UPC versus IPC. It's not ACO versus ICC, anything like that. But this guy's been good to talk to and good to question about certain things. And he is with IAPMO, he's a regional manager. He's been a journeyman plumber for 30 years, and no rookie. So guys, I would like to introduce my friend, John Miley.
How y'all doing today? If you would, just repeat after me. Plumber, 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 plumber. Hey, y'all. I got one thing to say. We saw a lot of it on social media. But the plumbing industry did not get flushed. To our passion for this industry. We've been here fighting ever since the beginning of the session. IAPMO's been here alongside our industry partners, the union, the non-union, 68, amongst others, day and night, till 10 o'clock at night on Memorial Day, right before Memorial Day. But we did it as an industry. We will prevail as an industry. I want to thank Representatives Wally, Hernandez, Ferrara, Kalani, and also Perez from the Houston area who were very, very instrumental in helping us defeat this legislation. IAPMO will continue to support the industry alongside our plumbers, and we will not quit. We will not give up the fight. I ask you and really encourage you, please get involved. I know that politics is one of the things we don't like talking about at the table, but it is necessary. So please, please get your family involved. Get everyone registered to vote. Look at what we've done out here. Give yourselves a hand. I received numerous calls from around the country. My Louisiana plumbers, I know you're here somewhere out there. I'll pray, there you go. And New Mexico and Oklahoma. We appreciate it. So please, be strong with us, stay with us, and keep the road, keep the course. We're not done yet. This is just the beginning. Thank you, and please travel safe. And God bless Texas.
Now it starts getting fun. Any of y'all ever heard pride in plumbing. He cares about what he does, and he wants to be great at it. And man, when you meet somebody like that, you build a relationship, you spend time talking, and it's been really good. So those of y'all that have not heard of this thing called Facebook, there's a group called Service Plumbers of Texas. If you haven't gone on it, I'd say go on it. You'll see a lot of people up here on it. Go on there and see what all the hoopla is, what we're all talking about. He is an RMP. He is actually the responsible master plumber for one of the companies up in the Dallas area. And he's been in plumbing for 35 years. So he's not new. I'd like to introduce y'all to Robert Renfro.
He's not a rookie. Wow. I mean, one line of a Facebook post did all this. It's amazing. This is all y'all. This isn't us.
Right.
You guys did this. I want to hear a round of applause for y'all right now. Y'all funded this. We didn't fund this. Y'all did. This is your rally. This is your time to speak. This is our time to be one. How can we get this many people together and not get 10 people to a board meeting? It's amazing to me. So I want to hear a cheer for the fact that we will no longer let people step on us. We will no longer accept the fact that special interest exists in our trade. And we will no longer let bureaucrats make decisions for us and home builders decide how our trade works. Because if they do it again, we'll be back. And we'll be back. We'll be back in numbers. You know? Look at this crowd, guys. Have you ever seen the amount of plumbers that you see right now? Unified for one cause. Do you think that the governor would have signed that bill if we didn't come together? So keep it clear. The reason this happened is because we came together. The reason everything happens in government is because we're voters. And let me give a warning to everybody that works in this building. Mess with us again and we'll vote you out. We ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. The days of us not getting along is over. The days of us being mad at each other is over. The days of us being quiet, that's over, my friends. Stand up for your fellow plumbers. When they're in need, stand up and speak. Show up and help. That's all I got to say. Thanks for coming, guys.
Robert Renfro is a big part of why we're here today. So, like I said, if you hadn't gone out and got on Service Plumbers of Texas, guys, you need to, because that's where we're all communicating. And it gives us a place where we can get on there and talk to each other and connect with each other. My name's Speaker. Man, I've had her on my radio show in Dallas. I've had her come in and go to my studio in the plumbing company. And she does not like to get up and talk in front of people. She does not, and I'm not correct. She did not want to come in front of the camera and a microphone. I'll tell you what, she is, number one, man, this lady is smart, and when she talks plumbing, she daggone well knows what she's talking about. She is with AACES, a Plumbers Continuing Education Center in the Dallas area. She's the director. She's the retired chief plumbing and mechanical inspector in Dallas. Here's what I like about this lady. I love the fact that I have every master enforcement in Texas. She does too. And she beats me because she also is a plumbing inspector. She's right there with me with 40 years in the trade. She's a HVAC contractor and a backflow preventer, inspector, tester, educator. Guys, she's got it. I would like to introduce to you one of the smartest ladies I know in plumbing, Diane Villarreal.
Okay, I'm going to stand on this box, because if I don't, I can't see it. They're going to be green. I don't even know what to say. Y'all have blown me away. First and foremost, I am always a plumber. Always. The board is our legacy. The board is our right of entry into plumbing. It sits on hallowed ground to me. What did it feel like when you passed that test and you walked out that door? Stanley talked about giving his license number to his grandson, and I know what he means by that. I wear my husband's number, M3914. He's with us today, looking down. He is so proud. I can tell you, he's running around heaven pulling the plumbers together so they can see this and experience it. I have a license with the TDLR. I have an air conditioning contractor's license. And I'm proud of it. I'm not going to say I'm not. But I'm a plumber. I don't think I've ever been so proud as I am today. Let me ask you something. I see a sea of qualified, licensed plumbers out here. What happens when we do what we do? Nothing. There's a method to that madness. This house behind me needs to know that. We cannot be unprepared again. Today is the beginning. There's a new mindset in plumbing. You have to contact your representatives and your senators, not just once. We need to tell them what we do. If this goes crazy, and thank you, Governor, thank you so much, but if he hadn't corrected this, can you imagine what would have happened? Chaos. That is correct, chaos. I just want to say I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of everyone. I can't believe it. Those that came from out of state, thank you. To my sisters in plumbing, let's double this number. Come on. And to you guys that accept us, thank you. Thank you.
not 40. And I don't know that I was quite accepted back then, but it's a whole different world. And today, the state of Texas understands we are here, we're going to be heard, and we're going to be ready for the next legislation. We have to roll up our sleeves and go to work. I expect to see quite a large tendency show up at the next board meeting, please. Thank y'all. And thank all of these organizers. These are great people. And let's move on. Let's extend this. Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners now is going to belong to us.
You know, and I talked to y'all about meeting these people and building these relationships. And I remember the first time that I talked to Mary on the phone, we talked for about an hour. And it was about what is going on with the Texas plumbing license, what's happening here today, what can we do to make it all better. And you get introduced to a lot of different people. And these people that I've got to meet up here today, man, I'll tell you what, these relationships, guys, this is what's going to change the future of plumbing in Texas. What we're doing right here today, every one of us. So, this next speaker helped put together 71K strong plumbers. He's a master plumber and a CPE inspector's license, master's license, journeyman, MedGas, WSPS, BPAT, water operator, 20 years in the industry. And guys, wait till y'all hear him speak. I would like to introduce Mr. Adam Smith.
Anybody know where I can find a good plumber today? I want to start off by thanking everybody for being here. This is amazing. We started this, what, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago? Just think what we can do in the next 2 years before the legislative session. Come on. I got to start with some personal acknowledgments real quick. First, I want to thank Hazmat and my buddy Charles for throwing this sound together in literally no time at all and pulling this rabbit out of the hat so that we could make this thing happen. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. We could not have done this without you. Thank you. And if I don't thank my beautiful wife, I'm going to have to find a place to sleep tonight. So I want to thank my wife for running the sign-in table and her friend Jennifer. Thank you guys so much. Baby, I love you. In 2000, the company I was working for shut down and moved out of state. And my friend called and said, hey man, come be a plumber. And I said, man, plumber? And he talked me into it. And the first day I walked on that job, my journeyman Mike Lynch said, hey boy, you know anything about plumbing? I've been told hot's on the left. I said, no man, I don't. And Mike took the time for over 2 years to teach me what we do and why we do and why it matters. It's not enough to put pipe together. You got to know when to put it together and why to put it together. You got to understand when to fit it and when not to. You got to know when to roll it over and when not to. It's important what we do. He started me on a journey to learn the history of plumbing. And since that time, I have discovered the most amazing fact. Did you know that plumbers, not doctors, plumbers have done more to extend human life than any other trade? In 1858, we had 15 to 100,000 people worldwide dying of cholera and typhus and typhoid. hundreds of thousands of people annually. The Plumber came in and introduced ground plumbing, underground plumbing. And in 20 years, they built the first sanitary sewer system. And at the end of that 20 years, the average length of life went from 37 to 57 because of plumbers. It has taken doctors 150 years to move us from 57 to 77. It took us 20. Come on now. When this great country was founded, our founding fathers looked back through history to find principles to base us on. And one of the founding documents that they based us on said that the preservation of the safety of the people is the supreme order of law. We are that supreme order. We protect the populace. We protect the people's lives and health and safety. Not legislators. We do. We do more for society. We are the cornerstone of what society is built on. No water, no wastewater, no people. It's that simple. You build things. You make things happen. Guys, this is your opportunity. Today cannot be the end. This is the opportunity to stay together and to fix this issue. We should never have gotten to this point. We should never have gotten to this point that we got to show up and ask our legislature to extend our licensing board so that we can keep protecting people. But here we find ourselves. The governor's done it for 2 years, which gives us 2 years to get our act together. Y'all think we can pull that off? Yeah! I'm sorry, let me try that again. Do y'all think we can pull that off? Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. God bless Texas and God bless Texas plumbers. Now, so far today, we've had one of the best MCs that we've ever had the privilege of witnessing live. The next person to get up and speak, he is a former CE instructor. He is the owner and RMP of Texas Green Plumbing. He has been plumbing since 1980. I'm pretty sure I was in diapers in 1980. He is an RMP, he is a Master MedGas, Master WSPS, and Master Multi-Purpose Residential Fire Protection Sprinkler Specialist, which is the worst name of a license ever. That means he has them all, guys. That means he has them all. Here's the deal. You can find him on YouTube. He is known as the expert plumber on YouTube. He hosts social media events and radio show up in the Dallas area. He is a social media information provider. If you're looking to market yourself, you can find no better teacher anywhere than Roger Wakefield. Let's give it up.
You know what, guys? This is one of the neatest things I've ever done in my life. And I've been stopped so many times today by people saying, look, we go to your YouTube channel, we see your videos on the Expert Plumber, we watch what you do, we listen to what you talk about. I love the fact that I've been able to invite Diane and Mary and Robert and so many different people there to see it and see what we do. But guys, here's the deal. Today's not what it's all about. This is just us coming together to say thank you for the next 2 years that we got. But what we're here for is the future of the Texas plumbing license is in our hands. And it's in our hands because, like you've heard them say, we get to elect the officials that we put into the House of Representatives and the Senate. And it's our voice that gets to be told. And when these people are running in your cities and you look back and see how they voted, who they voted for, who they voted against, you need to remember that. And you need to go to social media and you need to tell people, hey, because I promise you, I called my representative and I would like to say thank you to Angie Chin Button, because she literally called me on my cell phone and said, Roger, I'm letting you know I'm voting for you. My senator's office apparently didn't get the message because I didn't get a call. So guys, I want you to remember this. When these people are running for office, that this is what they live for, us. Our votes, get them in or get them out. We all have the opportunity here, as you've heard them say, don't just call your representative one time, don't just call your senator one time. Call down there several times and say, hey, I want to know where we're at on this. You look around at all the different plumbers and plumbing companies here, and I love what Robert Renfro said, look, we can come together. And I've been plumbing 40 years, and I don't know that I've ever seen a group of plumbers come together like this, or like all these people back here behind me. Because it's not like, well, I don't know, who do you work for? It's not like, well, I don't know, are you union, are you PHCC, do you do service, do you do construction, what do you do? Brother, I do plumbing. And when I look around here, I see a lot of brothers and sisters just like me. We do plumbing. So guys, man, we have had one heck of a day at the state capitol. We're going to do a couple of things here in a minute. But guys, the one thing I want y'all to walk away from here today and remember is this is your voice. This is your plumbing license. I don't want you to sit back and wait on me or Mary or Robert or Diane or anybody else to say something for you. I want you to go to Who Represents Me on the internet and find out who is your representative and who is your senator. And then my question to you is, why don't you know that already? Because you need to call them, you need to talk to them, and you need to schedule time. I've scheduled time to come down here and talk to Senator Paxton. I've scheduled time to come down here and talk to Representative Angie Chamberlain. I've been trying to get into the governor's office to talk to him too. But we're still working on that. Guys, he stepped up yesterday and did us all a big favor. And I want y'all to remember that, because he really did. Now, I would like to thank Mary Conger for this opportunity that I've had today. I want to thank Robert Renfro. Man, the list is this long and I could go down the whole thing. But those two kind of threw this thing together, and I was asked if I would like to be involved in it. And I think I said yeah before they could even answer or finish asking the question. But I also want to say thank you to Julie, my wife, right down here in front, running around the video camera. Because guys, I promise you, without our wives, we ain't gonna make it. Again, I want to say thank you to the sound people. I want to say thank you. I know that we've got representatives from the state capitol here that are just overly impressed with Mary and the job that she's done. We're going to step down here in a minute, and we're going to, man, we would love to shake every one of y'all's hands, take selfies, whatever it is you want to do. Mary, will you come here? We need you in here today, guys. I just wanted one more hand for Miss Mary Conger. So guys, I want y'all to remember that when you get away from here. Talk to your representative and your senator. Talk to the plumbers around you. It doesn't matter if they're union or non-union. It doesn't matter if they're service or construction. It does not matter if they're residential or commercial.
Plumber strong.
We are plumbers. Hashtag 71K Plumber Strong. Guys, we're all gonna, matter of fact, hey, all y'all that were involved on this, come up here with me real quick if y'all are still up here, will you? If y'all spoke here today or you were involved with it, let it fall. Come on. Don't worry about it. Come on, Ray. Guys, you will never know all the hard work that this group behind us did. And we, 10, 12, 15 people, it's y'all that did everything. Because y'all being here today is what makes it all worthwhile. So from all of us to all of y'all, thank you.